Perez Hilton had a live streaming incident earlier tonight that ended with the police being called and there being like a standoff, and then they left him with mental health officials to avoid like a suicide by cop situation. It's still pretty serious right now. A lot of people have noticed that there are similarities to the most recent Ariana Grande video, which features like a Carrie type scene in the movie. A lot of people have asked me about the astrology of the incident, and I can point out exactly how this is related to Ariana and how Perez Hilton kind of pushed her into the state that she is in today. And so now the universe is kind of doing an Uno reverse. In 2011, Perez Hilton wanted to be Ariana Grande's manager right when she was first starting out in her career, and she decided to hire somebody else. He became extremely butthurt and started being super petty towards her on her blog and attacking her at any chance. A few years ago, he said he regretted that, but he was just posting about her again recently. This is Ariana Grande's chart in 2014 or 2011 when they first met. Okay, Neptune had just moved into Pisces, and Neptune are both kind of about lies, deceptions, like what you see is not truth, gossip, substance abuse, all those things, right? So it's right on Saturn. So she was looking for a manager. She was a little lost in her career here, and it shows Saturn's in her 10th house, right? She's getting a restriction onto her career at this time. See, Ariana is ruled by Saturn. She has a Capricorn rising. So she takes that criticism very harshly. She doesn't have a strong sense of self. Whatever the people say about her, she tries to change into that. That's why she's always going through these different eras. And like, he is one of the most critical people that drives her to try to be more perfect, to like end the criticism. So Perez's chart during that time, Saturn was going over his natal Pluto, right? He was having restrictions to his power because he'd already gone through a lot of scandals before that. So Uranus was going over his sun and his south node. He was trying to reinvent himself online. He was going to become a manager, and he saw Ariana as his ticket, as his way out, right? So when she didn't hire him, he got bitter about that. That north node's going over Neptune again, like bringing him back to his lie. So we see in 2014, they got in this big battle where he was criticizing her hair, the way she looks, okay? And then when her fans came back at him, he tweeted her employer and said she was using substances, which she said was a lie. Here's his chart during that time with Ariana. We see Pluto is there with Venus. He lost money, and that's what made him start tweeting about the way Ariana looked, because he blamed her all along. Like, he was probably thinking, man, if Ariana had just signed me as her manager, I would be fucking rich now. It's that bitch's fault, right? That's how they do. So he was going into his Pluto square about power struggles, and things like that. And Neptune was over on that spot where Chiron had been the wound when she interviewed him, making him delusional about what the actual problem was, because the problem is actually you, and you're supposed to be releasing it. With the south node going over the wound here, like, the universe is telling you release your wounds around security and like the way you relate to women, like the way you bully women, and your shit can turn around. So now we come up today, and Saturn is right there in the opposite that Pluto, where it was when he first met Ariana. Saturn is karma, right? Karma has come back around. It's when it comes to its opposition or its full circle, usually when your karma comes in. Some at like the halfway point too, okay? So Neptune, delusional on his sun, like his mind, he's deceptive. He's probably abusing substances as well. And he's coming into his Chiron return. That wound that he's supposed to have been letting go over this time, he hasn't been working towards letting it go. It's been amplifying because he's been leaning into it and blaming other people. So now that Chiron has ingressed into Taurus, he is like, he's probably super broke because Saturn is on Venus, his money, opposite that Pluto. He probably has no money because he's been a bully his whole career, and people in the early 2000s that sold, but it doesn't anymore, okay? And he didn't roll with the times. He didn't learn to be a better person. And so now he's doing that. He blames the public and everything else. Subconsciously, was he copying that Ariana video, or maybe he saw it and he was purposely copying it? Perhaps, but either way, the universe is having him act that out in real life because he put Ariana through that. And a lot of other girls. I bet if we tracked back to Britney Spears and like all these things, we could find all these different connections that are all now coming to a head, and like this last full moon that we had is bringing all those memories to his mind of all the times where he made the wrong choice. And that is overwhelming to feel. And all that basket is right in, like Pluto is right in trine with his node. So karma is coming in very obviously right now because the universe really wants people to like have a chance. Like, this is your last chance. Get your shit straight because we're not playing around anymore. So learn to work your Saturn.